Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 2CTV with some breaking news. The Prime Minister Rishi Sunak continues to be in hiding in his bunker in Downing Street. The Tory party chairman Richard Holden falls apart on live TV, and the Tory party headquarters have temporarily suspended both the social media campaign as well as the national campaign for the day until tomorrow to decide how Downing Street will be reacting. We're going to give you guys all the information on this in this video. This is the fourth live update of the day, and breaking news is all happening, and also the latest updates following the last video in terms of the European elections. The Prime Minister of Belgium has also resigned. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you guys the update on that as well. Hello to everybody in the live chat, so we'll get your reaction as usual. First things first, let's talk about Richard Holden. Let's talk about first the Tory party headquarters. As you guys already probably know, they have suspended the election campaigns on the social media platforms because they say they have run out of money. They don't have enough money for that. But the local candidates are campaigning in constituencies. But the national campaign for Downing Street and Rishi Sunak has been suspended for the day until they decide what the plan is tomorrow. We haven't heard from the Prime Minister all day, almost. There was a Flickr account post, which was nonsensical, but we don't know. Some people say that he's resigning. I mean, I'm not going to go with the rumors. We just know that he's hiding in his bunker, and they're deciding what to do in terms of the national campaign. It might resume tomorrow, but for now, it didn't happen, and the social media campaigns have been suspended because they don't have enough money, apparently, the Tory party headquarters. Now, Richard Holden, the Tory party chairman, you can see in the photo, had a bit of a car crash interview. I'm not really the biggest fan of the mainstream media and the way the reporters handle interviews and their bias, but at times, I'm objective. The mainstream media do their job the right way. Man, it's easy. So when politicians are not answering questions, and when a mainstream media reporter, even if they're annoying, when they lose their patience, I like that. Actually hold them to account. For once, hold them. I know they could still be biased against the Tories. I don't care. When Richard Holden is lying or not answering questions, you need to do it. Let's just say Richard Holden, the party chairman, didn't answer the questions properly, and then the whole car crash happened, and his advisor had to step in, end the interview, and then obviously pull him away, and the whole thing escalated. Let's go.
So you can't justify the way you have been parachuted into Basildon and Billericay. You're not denying it's a stitch-up and it's anti-democratic.
Emily Thornberry today has admitted...
I'm going to stop you now. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You said in an interview earlier this year you were bloody loyal to the North East. What happened to that?
John, I've already answered these questions.
No, you haven't.
Actually, I have.
When?
When I did a Channel 4 News interview last week.
Oh, right. It's one broadcaster, isn't it? This is a pool interview for all the other broadcasters.
I think these broadcasters agreed with the questions.
No, nobody agreed that at all. Well, I've got a list here of questions from other broadcasters.
All three broadcasters agreed. Everyone on this.
Nobody's agreed. No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
The proof. They all agreed this.
Well,
if that's where it's going to go, then we'll just leave, because that's not what we agreed to come here today to discuss.
Well, I kept trying.
Wow. You cannot tell a broadcaster that these are the questions that, we don't agree to these questions. Answer our questions. You can't come up with your questions. You're the politician. You must answer any questions. It's completely nonsensical. So now we already had the Tory party MPs coming out to obviously react to this car crash interview. A lot of them are panicking about this. Of course, we already read this earlier. One of the MPs said, "It's clear that Richard Holden's position as chairman of the party is untenable. So many candidates and volunteers are deeply uncomfortable with such a person chairing our party. He appears devoid of basic morals and principles and presents an appalling image of our party. He will never be forgiven for how he handled candidate selections," of course, in Basildon especially. He may think the anger has dissipate, but it will not. So that's the reaction from the actual Tory MPs themselves as well. Good news for Nigel Farage. He continues to go up in the opinion polls. And Middleton, a former SAS officer, has come out to endorse Nigel Farage, saying Farage is a true English gentleman, whether you like it or not. He is got it right. We, of course, also had Nigel Farage's campaign being very proactive today on the beach in Clacton. The campaign team decided to write "Vote Farage" in the sand, which is quite interesting. There are also conspiracy theories, probably correctly, in the live chat that Maya Tusi is coming down with a cold. Kind of. I can feel my voice and my throat a little bit. I was coughing a little bit earlier, but it's okay. It's just a bit of a head cold, potentially. Your conspiracy theories are probably correct. We don't know yet. Nigel Farage also is enjoying the thrill of the game, and he's going around Clacton. He was on his campaign bus talking to some... well, speaking at some voters who were drinking in a pub in Wetherspoon, actually. And then we're going to talk about the Belgian Prime Minister's resignation.
Good morning, everybody. It's too early for me to start drinking, but I'll see you in an hour's time, all right?
Brilliant. Nigel Farage. It seems like no other mainstream politician can actually behave like a normal person, the way Nigel is just interacting with voters. How hard is it to just be like a normal human? There's another video that Nigel has now posted just to prove that the campaign is more proactive than Labour and the Tories, but also on a more human level, because Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak, anything they post is basically a situation where they have to be polished, they have to manage it, they have to have a script. Now, of course, Keir Starmer will be Prime Minister, highly likely, obviously, unless some weird stuff happens, he will be Prime Minister. But that's what Nigel Farage is saying, that this project for reform is now a 6-year project. So they become the official opposition within the next few years, and then they form a government in the next time, like what Marine Le Pen has been doing all these years. Let's go to the next video of Nigel talking to a voter who's now joined Reform UK.
Mr. Farage.
Hello.
Russell Bethany joined the party last week.
Last week?
Fantastic news. About time we had a politician prepared to speak up and tell the truth.
Good luck, Nige.
And say what we're all thinking.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much.
We're all behind you.
Brilliant.
So this is how you do it. Of course, when you meet someone and you kind of have a chat with them and you say, okay, let's have a chat on camera. It's easy stuff. It's not really difficult. That's how you do campaigning, and you do social media the right way. And people know that he's actually interacting with people, with his own party members, with the voters, with the activists. And that's why he gets milkshaked, because, he does have security, but, he's actually going around the streets and pubs and everything else. Whereas Rishi Sunak, Keir Starmer, and all those guys, they pre-plan every visit, and they make sure the whole thing's shut down so nobody actually even gets close to them, like a bunch of control freaks and paranoid children. Now, quickly going to the European elections again, the latest breaking news, Alexandra. The crew, the Prime Minister of Belgium, has decided to resign last minute following the disastrous European elections across the continent for the globalist establishment. We also have this short clip of the moment when the crew decided to make the announcement that he is resigning. The whole of the European Union globalist house of cards is falling apart. Of course, the Belgian Prime Minister De Croo's resignation came after the result. The right-wing New Flemish Alliance did take the first place with 22%, with the other right-wing party getting 17.5%. The Socialists got 10.5%. And according to Alex Armstrong, the socialist experiment in Europe is coming to an end, and not soon enough. A perfect example is also in Spain, but the job in Spain is more difficult because there's still the socialist contingency that's basically trying to fight back. There is currently, as we speak, a massive rally in France, I believe in Paris, by the supporters of Marine Le Pen, who have decided to come out to celebrate. Let's quickly go to France. Well done and congratulations to all the patriots in France. Make France great again. Of course, Belgium falling apart, but because of the fallout, Ursula von der Leyen, the dictator of the European Commission, has decided to announce that she's not going anywhere. She will be remaining in power for another 5 years. It's important to note that despite the European Union having technically elections, like what's happening now for the European Parliament, unfortunately, the head of the European Union, the president of the European Commission, is not elected by the people. So the dictator, von der Leyen, has decided, and her team decided, to keep her in place because she's the only element of stability on behalf of the liberal globalists running the European project, so that even when the European Parliament has been taken over by the far right, as they call them, the European Commission could veto and block everything, any debate and any support coming out of the European Parliament. So this is exactly how they contain the situation, because part of the European Union as a project is basically, the biggest part of it is a dictatorship. It's not elected, it's not democratic, and it's not actually liberal in a good way. But people are waking up across Europe. Of course, France, Germany, we've seen an element of Spain, even Portugal, but the night is young, ladies and gentlemen. We have, there we go. The Ursula von der Leyen has also made a speech over the last hour or so. Let me just bring it up for you guys as well. It's just a few seconds from this speech. Let's see what she's saying.
EPP is the strongest political group in the European Parliament. EPP has the most leaders. Together with others, we will build a bastion against the extremes from the left and from the right.
The extremes from the left and from the right. Interesting. Absolutely interesting, their reaction. Of course, Meloni in Italy has also done well, despite everything we say about Meloni and her party, the brothers in Italy. They have generally done well as well tonight. But Meloni is still very cooperative when it comes to von der Leyen in general. But she's still obviously relatively right-wing for Italy. Actually, there are more right-wingers in Italy than Giorgia Meloni. But she's going to be, of course, leading some of the right-wing groups in the European Parliament. She's been a bit of a disappointment, of course. There is, of course, a lot of questions as well about, again, Rishi Sunak, about what he's thinking tonight in his bunker in Downing Street, what the decision is going to be tomorrow in terms of resuming the national campaign, and also what's going to happen with the social media campaigns, because when they suspended the social media campaigns, the line was that they don't have enough money. It is impressive how easily the Conservative Party, the most successful, historically the most successful democratic party in the world, doesn't have enough money. Even the corporations and the CEOs and the party donors are moving away. Anyway, super chat from PC saying, sadly, Maya, Starmer will win on the 4th of July. Well, that's the plan anyway. That's the whole point of it. So that Reform UK could aim to become the opposition. And then 5 years from now, they could form a government. And that way, people will see Labour government in action. People will wake up. That's basically the gamble that Nigel Farage is taking. Chaotic Null, thank you for your super chat saying, Maya, what do you make about Ireland? No change there. There's an issue because, of course, the cultural clash in Ireland, the liberal side and the left-wing side decided, as you guys already know, watching from Ireland, they over the last couple of months, they've been coming together because they see a threat of patriotism, because, of course, their version of nationalism at times is also left-wing, but they also have patriots, right-wing nationalists as well as the left-wing nationalists. You got the Sinn Féin idiots, but you also got the actual sound right-wingers in Ireland. They are being shut down because a lot of them have been protesting against mass migration. So the liberal side establishment and, of course, the actual socialist left are working together to make sure that there is no rise of the conservative nationalist side in Ireland. For now, there is no organised political movement in that sense. There are grassroots movements, absolutely, but they're still going along with centre-right mentality in the Republic of Ireland. But even Ireland will change because it starts from the grassroots. We can see people in Ireland rising up, not just against mass migration. We've been seeing a lot of patriots in Ireland coming out to fly the Irish flag, to send a message to the rest of us saying, when you see an Irish flag in a Palestinian protest, they do not represent us. These are the Sinn Féin type people. What do we have in the live chat? I like the idea of the EU, but in a different way. Trade, immigration, crime. We can all be in alliance without the red tape and money paid into them. But yes, I mean, just be like normal continents and countries. You don't need to have a political pact. You don't have to sell out your sovereignty or open your borders. You can, if you're from Canada, you can legally move to Australia or New Zealand if you can prove that you deserve it. You can have the same situation between the French and the Germans, between the Spanish and the Brits. In terms of trade, absolutely. Make sure you have a fair, free trade between each other. And of course, in terms of, we do live in a globalized world, so of course you need cooperation on crime and policing and all that. But again, not at the cost of selling out your sovereignty. When the EU came up with the EU Defence Union or the European Army, that is very different to cooperation, because they are creating a centralized body so that they could help us run our armies. That is not a good idea. Even NATO is not directly running the militaries, but NATO also has a problem because it's controlled by the vested interests, and of course, Americans call the shots, and that's NATO. Let alone creating a bureaucratic European army. That's going to be even worse than, of course, NATO. That's the issue. We have someone having a bit of a meltdown in the live chat, guys. His name is Noonie1. You are transphobic. I have not even talked about the gender issue. Interesting. Just like Tommy, you talk hate and your own agenda. That's not English, by the way. I mean, it's not good English, but, you know, it's okay. It's okay. Could be better English in terms of grammar. You talk hate and your own agenda. Well, at least I'm open about it. That my agenda is to support people across the world who believe in life and freedom. That's all. Whether you're watching from Argentina, Brazil, or South Africa, New Zealand, or Israel and Japan, if you support life and freedom and democracy and individual liberty and your own sovereignty and nationalism, I support you. And that's the point of 2CTV, and that's our agenda. Absolutely, that's our agenda. My agenda is to be against the mainstream narrative, to try to challenge it, to try to actually be honest with people about my own biases, tell the truth, give the facts, and then add my own biased opinion, and people know when I'm giving my opinion is quite obvious when I give an opinion. It's about being transparent and be honest with the people. People don't like the dishonesty of the mainstream media. If, for example, Sky News says, okay, for the next 2 minutes, this is an opinion, people will say, fair enough. We like that opinion or we don't like that opinion. But when they say these are facts, this is the truth, and everything else is misinformation, people are not stupid and they don't want to be treated like idiots. Super chat from Johnny Storm. Thank you for that generous super chat saying a merch idea. A branded jumpsuit. The onesie twosie. Yeah, but it would have worked if my surname was Toosie. It's Toosie. Like 2C. Onesie twosie. Yeah, if it was Toosie, that would have been good. Onesie twosie, maybe. Also, yeah, that guy who was having a meltdown. When did I even talk about the gender stuff? At least not today. Also, if you're an adult in a free liberal West, you do whatever you want to do. I don't care. If you want to dress like something, you dress whatever you want to dress. If you want to be something, if you want to feel like something, I don't care. Be a man, be a woman, be a cactus. 1, don't impose it on children. And 2, don't impose it on other people, force them to change their behavior, and don't undermine women and their safety. It's not rocket science. The rest of it, do whatever you want to do. I don't care about your personal life. Freedom. I don't care. Walk around like a penguin. Right. Phil says Nooney talking hate and accuses someone else of it. That's the irony of the political left, the woke left, of course. Yeah, I think the cold is coming. I can feel it in my throat, in my head. Also, I'm just completely shattered as well. I've had a long day, obviously at home with my mother. But also, this is the 4th live update of the night. On a Sunday night. It's been long, guys. It's been long. Let's just double check the latest update on Rishi Sunak and, of course, the European elections. Swedish Democrats, the young right-wing Swedish Democrats, are also celebrating. Let me just quickly let me take you guys to Sweden. The result have also now come out. It's interesting, everything that's happening. The right-wing Swedish Democrats.
Ja, och nu är det lite bättre stämning hos Sverigedemokraterna. De såg lite dystra ut tidigare. Men
Interesting. Obviously, we'll keep you guys posted on the rest of the result as they come in, especially tomorrow morning. As I said, this country needs to form Kanzuk. Interesting enough, tomorrow I'm going to a Kanzuk launch event in London. This will create the third pillar of the West to fight against globalists, woke ideology and whatsoever. So for those who don't know, Kanzuk is basically the idea of a relationship between Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, the Anglosphere basically, and without the Americans. But there are different types of Kanzuk as well, because there is Kanzuk with free movement. There's nothing wrong with it, but now we have mass migration and multiculturalism in all our countries. It wouldn't work because you're going to have, for example, a lot of people who take advantage of our system, then using free movement, open borders to go to Canada, ruin that, and then go elsewhere. But you can do Kanzuk with controlled migration. And easy route for economic migration, if you are level playing field with the others, if you respect the cultures and everything else, that's a fine idea. But you can't really just have open borders randomly. Definitely Kanzuk is good when it comes to trade, when it comes to cooperation, and when it comes to strengthening the Anglosphere and the Commonwealth. Because if you want to take away the control from the American globalists as well as the European Union globalists, you're going to have to lead the way, and you have to make sure that you actually do international cooperation for the sake of nationalism and patriotism. Put Britain first, put Australia first, New Zealand first, Canada first, all the others. That's the idea. So Kanzuk is a good idea. They just have to make sure that they amend the idea in terms of the migration policies. You can't just have open borders anymore. It's tricky because of all the people who would take advantage. Even right now in America, there's a lot of Middle Easterns and North Africans go towards South America, go to Mexico, and then they cross the Mexican border towards Texas and California. That's how they're getting to America, because it was easier for them to go that way. Super chat from Aaron saying a cornered animal is dangerous as they have nothing to lose. Super chat also from Linda, thank you very much. And PC says, I hope George Galloway loses his seat. That would be funny, actually, but it's unlikely. Super chat from Australia, actually. I have no faith in most women politicians since Thatcher. True. And I'm a woman. By the way, Oz is opening visas to tradies, the building industry. Oh, yes. Christian tradies, please. Good idea. Okay, so let's double check the latest. Is he still in his bunker? Yeah. Oh dear. What a mess. What an absolute mess of a situation, both in the UK and across the Western Europe. We are winning for now, ladies and gentlemen. Celebrate, be happy, but we have not won the big war. We are winning small battles. We're also winning here 518,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support 2CTV, if you're new to the channel, you're enjoying the content, please consider supporting us by joining 2CTV Plus, our independent platform as well, on 2c.tv. Just go on the website or check out the link in the description. You get access to all the premium shows you can see on the screen, break it down, news and nonsense, the backstory, point and politics, due process and context, and of course our upcoming documentary that will be ready shortly, the Britain's multiculturalism myth. That will be 2CTV Plus's first original and exclusive documentary on our website. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.